That's right. Welcome in, welcome back, folks, to the Irish Stress Hotline edition of the Always Irish Show. We just came off the call-in show. Man, I'm telling you, Notre Dame people have lost so much hair in the last 2 weeks, you have no freaking idea. Between the stress of the ramp-up of Ohio State and then everything that happened in the game, and then everything of that bleeding into this week, and then all the stress of this game, it's a freaking miracle any of us are alive. All I know is I'm in a lot better mood to talk about all the different areas Notre Dame has to improve in fast after a win over a loss. So let's get into this. Welcome in, welcome back, everybody. I'm just telling you, all of the Notre Dame fans that have complaints, and I do too, at least it's after a win. Let's get into it. Obviously, you can find the program on YouTube. Do it. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Appreciate it very much. Give the video a thumbs up. That helps Johnny out as well. Notifications on the way you alert it every time a new episode drops. I know you don't want to miss it. Twitter. Search bar Always Irish or at Always Irish Inc. Emails alwaysirishnd@gmail.com. Audio only anywhere you want it. You can get it. Call-in lines. Baby, they're popping. This call-in show is taking off after games, and I love it. 312-988-15. You tell Johnny all you've heard and seen about your Notre Dame stress level. Instagram, Facebook, Always Irish Inc. USA Today, Fighting Irish Wire. Read all about it. Articles every day. Every day. All right. Here's where we're going to start. The overall mission of the night was accomplished. That's before we discuss anything else. The mission of the week, the mission of the night was accomplished. Notre Dame needed a win, any win, ugly, big, a blowout, whatever, a 10-point. They needed a win to stop the bleeding from last week. A lot of, if not all of the things we were worried about the week after Ohio State happened. Like it just did. All the vibes, all the momentum for Duke and everything, and we were dragging ass, and the fans were sad, and then all of our wide receivers that you already still had questions about were all injured. Bad dynamics. The whole week, bad dynamics. You know what else made me realize how bad the dynamics were? Wednesday, Notre Dame's coaches were still fielding questions about Ohio State on Wednesday of Duke week. That never happens. That tells you everybody knew last week was a big, big damn deal. I don't ever remember hearing that where it's Wednesday and those guys are getting questions about the previous game. Normally, it's all moving forward, moving on into this week. We're not going back. They knew this was different. That one carried weight. So we already knew, even in summer, Duke was going to be a trap game. I've been saying it all summer. Whether Notre Dame wins or loses against Ohio State, everybody's tank's going to be on empty either way. On the high side, on the low side, the fans, the players, the coaches, whatever. Win or lose, Notre Dame was going to enter this game with almost nothing in the tank. That's human nature. It's nobody's fault. Little did we know the Ohio State game was going to pour gas on that, and the fact that in the summer, we didn't know Duke was going to be undefeated and beat Clemson and have all that and have game day and all that. It all added up into one big shit storm. Notre Dame survived it. Notre Dame survived it. I hope Riley Leonard's leg's okay. You hate to see that at the end of the game. That kid, that exciting player, I hope he's okay. Classy move by Artman to want to be out there and check on him and all that class act. I'm happy for Marcus. Listen, that guy's still learning on the job, and he's got a ways to go. And he would probably be the first one to tell you, I'm happy for Freeman, I'm happy for Hartman, and I'm happy for Audric. Okay. Hartman's had a rough 2 weeks. Great way to put that drive together and win this one and lower your head on the 4th downs that we couldn't get last week. There was some redemption in that for Hartman. As much as everybody struggled tonight, there was some redemption there. Audric should have been in a position to do what he did tonight against Duke to end the game and drive the stake through their heart. He should have had that opportunity 2 weeks in a row. But I guess one's better than none. So I'm happy for Audric. He got to run this one out. Here's what needs to happen. Notre Dame needs to get on that flight. Everybody take a collective exhale. Here's what I'm feeling. This was a whirlwind cluster of rough dynamics. Last week bled into this one. There's no way to avoid it. It's human nature. Ohio State was a big damn deal. The way it ended it made it worse. You just had to survive this one. And did it have to be this stressful? Did it have to be this ugly? Did it have to look like every Brian Kelly, Tommy Rees performance ever? I don't like that. But at the end of the day, damn it, they just had to scratch and claw win out here. And you did. Get back to South Bend. Take a deep breath. Everybody in the program, you wrote it out. You wrote it out. We talked all week about there's nothing any of us could do to undo the ending of Ohio State. What you can't let happen is let that loss turn into another one. And they almost did it, but they didn't. And it's like, John, look at all the red flags on the team, and this is bad and whatever. I understand all of them. I'm right there with you. There was a lot not to like tonight. But at least the boat didn't sink. The boat didn't sink. It's still floating. And that is the biggest thing, okay? Now, when I say there's a lot not to like, I mean a lot. The discipline, the penalties, what is it? How many penalties did we have? I just looked it up. Where is it? Give me this. 12 penalties for 70 yards, and they had 2? Bad. Out of control bad. The last few weeks, Ohio State wasn't as bad, but the 2 weeks before that, they had 18. I just can't. That's going to cost you. The penalties are ridiculous. Tighten it up. Okay? The missed tackles are still a problem. I don't know how you fix that. I don't know if they're not hitting in practice, bringing guys to the ground because they don't want to get hurt. I don't know how you change that or if it just requires more attention to detail. Penalties, missed tackles. Here's another complaint. Notre Dame special teams has regressed this year a lot. A lot. And it's a big deal. Everybody, if you've been here a long time, you know I'm a stickler for special teams. There is so much within your control playing good special teams. I'm a guy who has zero tolerance for sloppy ST. Okay? Notre Dame's regressing in every area there. And when Mason left, I did a show, and I was very upset about it. And I got made fun of. People were saying, look at yourself. You're an embarrassment. Look at you crying. It's just special teams. It ain't a big deal. And you're doing this show all emotional, getting worked up that we're going to regret this and all that. You got regression everywhere. I don't care if the field goal kicker can kick it 500 yards in the air. If it isn't straight, it doesn't help me. And I can't trust him. The punts tonight. He wasn't. You could just hear it. He wasn't flushing them. There were a couple bad punts almost caught us. Our coverages are not as good this year. You're not blocking punts. You're not getting returns. There's been a major regression there, and I hate it. I just got to put that out. Now, I know your wide receivers, while we're yelling about bad, the refs. I'm just going to leave it at that. Every game this year, the refs, bad. Objectively bad. For us, against the other team, for it, just bad. The officiating's piss poor. Okay? They're doing stuff that isn't even legal. They're doing replay on plays that aren't even allowed to be replayed. Last week, they called a hold, and then when they announced it, they changed it into another penalty and called pass interference. They're just making stuff up. Garbage. No accountability either. They just do whatever and move on and get their check. Bad at their jobs. Okay? Moving on. Offensively, this was painful to watch. I don't know. It felt like some of those years where it was just run, pass, run up the middle for nothing, run into a wall for nothing. Where's the tight end on third down? For too much of this game, that's what it felt like. And again, 2 weeks in a row, Notre Dame's in position to put up points on early drives to establish control of the game and build some margin out, and they didn't do it. And you lost the game last week because of it, and you almost lost this one. I mean, you got to get these points on the board. Man, it's just it's so frustrating. You're moving the ball, you got to put the points up. Evans, good job. You needed somebody to step up. Good job by Evans, man. You needed somebody to step up, knowing those receivers were out and you were going to need help in the passing game elsewhere. Good job there. Hartman, man, it has not been the easiest 2 weeks of work for that guy. What a warrior, though. Man, he fought it. There was no way he was going to be short on fourth down this week. The guy fought through it and made the plays that we had to make. Okay? We made the plays we had to make. Now, there's just a lot of red flags here. This offense is nowhere near where it needs to be, even with Hartman. It ain't. It's not. Man, did you watch football all day today? And I see these teams that aren't as good as Notre Dame, but man, they got offenses that look better. And there always seems to be guys on slants across the middle of the field, open in stride, catch the ball and run, and they're off. And just like more action, more deception, more movement. So I don't know, man, but Gerard Parker, it's a little rough. It's a little rough. And I don't know if that's personnel that's lacking due to injury or not on the team because we're not that far along yet. Or I don't know if they're just, I don't know what it is, man, but this offense is lacking right now. And I know you were down guys, but man, it's just frustrating. You know, Ohio State said the Notre Dame O-line was the toughest group they played, whatever. And then you got pushed around at times against Duke here in the run game. So, man, it's frustrating. And so there's a lot to not like, but everybody should be in a damn good mood to complain about it after a win and not a loss. Third down efficiency, 3 of 15 for Notre Dame. You don't deserve to win that game. Notre Dame was 3 out of 15 on third down, bro. That's a loss. That's a loss. 3 out of 15, bro. Now, fourth down, 3 out of 3. So there's a big improvement over last week. But 3 out of 15 on third down when you have Sam Hartman is garbage. Now, Duke might be very, very good. They are a tough, play hard, physical team. Mike Elko, the whole thing. Here's the issue. I don't know how injured Riley Leonard is, but if he's out, it's going to be hard to get a real gauge of how good Duke is because they're not going to have their best player, the engine that makes it all go. So if that dude's out, it's going to be really hard to get a gauge on where they are. They beat Clemson. You can't take that from them. They played us down to the wire. So I don't know, man. It's just a rough deal. It's a rough deal. 3 of 15, passing 222 yards. They only had 134 total yards, 381 for Notre Dame. That ain't a lot of yards, in my opinion. Oh, man. Rushing, 189 for them, 159 for us. 5 yards a carry for us, 4.7 for them. It did not feel like we were running it for 5 yards a carry, did it? 12 for 70, the penalties. So I don't know. I don't know. Listen, there are problems. This is not a complete roster. This is not a complete team. I'm unclear whether I'm struggling to figure out offensively whether this is what they want to run and they just don't have the guys, or if they want to do a lot more but they don't have the guys. I'm struggling to figure that out right now. So there are problems. But the biggest one you avoided, and that was letting Ohio State turn into 2 losses instead of 1. And at least you avoided that. But this team isn't a complete product right now and clicking on all cylinders and all that. They're just not. They're not. So what I hope is you exhale, let this cluster of this game in Ohio State die off. Now you get back home. You got a win in your pocket. Everybody should be feeling better. You're stabilizing things. And then you got to have a good week of practice where things get back to normal, more normal. You get some guys back healthy. Everybody kind of can chill out a little bit and then have a good week of work. And then get ready for another big night game. Maybe they're going to have a game day there, and it'll be, let's just do Notre Dame game day for a month. Notre Dame, Ohio State game day. Notre Dame, Duke game day. Notre Dame, Louisville, give them game day. And then Notre Dame, USC game day. Notre Dame's irrelevant now. Give me a break. Night game galore, man. Everybody wants Notre Dame in prime time, and then they want to tell you right out the side of their mouth, Notre Dame don't matter. Unbelievable. Anyways, very frustrating night, but I'm in a 100% better mood about it than I was a week ago doing this, sitting in this chair, sweating, seeing stars. I was so mad. You got what you needed. But there's a lot of work to do. And there's a lot of growth that has to be done with the players and the staff. That defense is fighting, and they're keeping you in it out there. And you got a turnover here, one you needed last week. You got one here. I appreciate all that defense is doing. 14 points is winning football. 17 last week, winning football. Just couldn't be those 7 you gave up at the end. But overall, that's winning football. This offense needs to pick it up. They need to pick it up. And you don't have the excuse you used to have of, oh, we don't have a quarterback. Everybody else needs to pick it up. So get back to South Bend. Be proud of yourselves. You didn't let this snowball on you. And then get back to work, because you got to get a lot better for Louisville and USC. So good job keeping the boat afloat, but you got a lot of work to do. Everybody have a good one.